Hi, John Falstrom, back at you here at EADG4 headquarters, which is about 40 minutes south of Chicago's Loop and the mighty Soldier Field. We're going deep again today. It's June 10th, 2016. Got Dave here behind the camera here with the lights, and we're getting deep. This is our third session today, or third topic. And this one is could be the most important one. This is how to memorize your notes on the bass. How to memorize the notes on this bass. The entire fretboard, not just a couple notes. We need to know every note from here to here. On this bass, it's 20 frets. And we got to know them in any order. So this would be a D sharp or an E flat. And what happened was that note letter appeared in my head right before I hit it. That's how you know you'll get it. Okay? Now, how do you memorize the notes? What ways are there? There's different. You gotta have strategy. This is not. This is one of the hardest things you'll do. This might take 8 months, 2 years. I don't know, 6 months. It took me, I think, about 8 months of just constant. This is back in the day when I was learning the fretboard. I knew I had to do this just from playing in good bands already. So what you want to do, and you got to realize. Go with the natural notes first. Find your natural notes, okay? Because there's 7 natural notes on the bass, and they're scattered all over the bass. You got 7 each. Like you got 7 A's, 7 B's, 7 C's, 7 D's, 7 E's, 7 F's, 7 G's. And same thing. Every note can be sharp. Remember this. Every note can be sharp. Every note can be flat. There's not special notes that can't be flatted or can't be sharp. So the 7 notes can be sharp. 7 notes can be flat. Okay. Now in my book, Dave, if you want to get, I'll give you time to zoom in on this diagram. And as you're zooming, I'll just keep talking, because when I was learning my fretboard, I had a diagram like this. Not this one, but it's actually out of a great little book called Melbay 1 by Roger Filiberto that I would bring everywhere with me. You know, school, when I had breaks, constantly, because I knew I had to get this done. So I'd have the picture of the fretboard, and it's right here. I think Dave's somewhere around here. And it's got the E string, A string, D string, G string. This is my book. This is the photo of the fretboard in my book. And I got the natural notes real big. And I got a saying down here: memorize the natural notes first. Kind of like landmarks, okay? And I would have this a picture like this. It doesn't have to be this one, anyone. And I would just sit there and study and envision. You gotta be able to close your eyes and use the dot markers. That's why they're there. So I would go, okay, what notes are on the 6th fret across the board? All right, Dave, you can come back to me if you want.
Okay.
So I would go 6th fret right here, and then I would put the 2nd dot marker and the 3rd dot marker in my mind and get these notes. Again, I'm not going to name these notes now because I said do the natural notes first. So let me go back to a fret with natural notes. Get the open strings first. E, A, D, G. Any order, anytime. Alright, then start working your way up. That's an F. So what you want to do is maybe start putting notes in, which is great, is put them in 2 notes now. F and G. F to G, constantly. Capital F in your head, capital G. Now you take these F and G and then find another F, and then G will automatically be a whole step higher. So I'll go F here, G is here. F, G, F, G. Your choice where you want to play them. G, F, G. Now I'll find even maybe you know what? I think I'll just stay right here now. Use 5 frets. That's how I'm not going to leave these alone right now if I'm learning the fretboard. Now I'll add another note. F, C. Let's go F, G, and C. F, G, C. So we know that F, G, that's the shape. So here's F, again, G, C. We know C is automatically there. And you keep doing that. Close your eyes. Again, if you're not seeing these notes right before you play them, you haven't studied them enough. As simple as that. Because you got to be able to go from here to there to there to there. And the notes, you have to know the notes. F, F, C, G, D. You have to know them in any order, wherever the song takes you. You don't know how, or your improv takes you. The notes have got to be with you at all times. You can never be, if you don't know the notes, now you're in fog. it's like driving in fog. You're hoping you're gonna not hit a wall. Okay? Trust me. Alright, F, now add another note. You got F, G, now let's add that A. F, G, A, now C. Okay, and then C to D. F, G, A, C, D. Now we take this shape and just go F, G, A, C, D. So we got them here, and we got them here. You start putting those two together over and over again. Then as you get better at it, you take the F, maybe take the F up here, same note, and just do that same shape. You got F, G, A, C, D. You take it up here, same shape, F, G, A, C, D. F, you got to know that first dot. This first dot up here represents the first dot. Same notes on the first dot here, but these are an octave higher, twice as high. So here's F, here's F. Here's C, here's C. First dot. That means the second dot's D, just like here. G is here, G is here, A is here, like here. Okay? Know your highest note on the bass. Well, natural note for now. This is a D, which is an octave higher. It's the third dot. Same as the third dot here. 1, 2, 3, third dot. Third dot. D, D. A, octave higher. E, E. B, B. You keep doing this, studying your fretboard, study, going back and forth, check it. Okay, number 2 way. Learn a song. Everyone learns songs, okay? I'll just make up a little riff right down here. No, let me go back just one little thing. Now, once you get your natural notes, number 1, I have the diagram. Once you get your natural notes, start adding your, like F to G. Now you got to get your F sharp and G flat in there, between them. This is F sharp, G flat, G, F sharp, G flat, G, G sharp, A flat, A. Now, how do you know what to call F sharp or G? You don't, in a song, you don't say F sharp, G flat. What happens is, in your keys, songs in key, which is the major scales and the minor scales, a key either has sharps or flats. Not and, it's or. So if you're in the key of A, which I've been using a lot, the key of A because it's got 3 sharps, this is definitely, without a doubt, going to be the F sharp. There's no flats in the key of A. None. So when you play in A, eliminate the flats. There's none in there, unless you change keys. So this is F sharp. That's how you know why to call that. So I'm going to go F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay? Now, if we're in the key of F, F has flats. F major scale. Now, I'm not going to think sharps, I'm going to think flats. So I'm going to go F, G flat, G, A flat, A. Again, by the way, my next session is going to be the circle of fifths. And then you'll know. I'll even make it tighter for you. But again, as you learn the board, make sure you know both of them. F sharp, G flat. Okay? And then when you get smart with the theory, every song is in a key. So, like I said, if we're in the key of A, that's an F sharp. If you call it a G flat, you're wrong. It's not going to add up to anything. You're going to wind up somewhere in the middle of the ocean without a sail or a paddle. That's an F sharp. Okay, in key of A. Key of F is a G flat. All right, now when I learn a song, let's do. I'll just make up something using A. This is the riff. Okay, I got it down. I know I can play it. Okay, now if you're not seeing these notes as you're playing, you're not seeing what you should be seeing. That's an A. D, E, G, A. You go over and over. You keep doing this over and over again until you see D, E, capital D, capital E, capital G, capital A. You got to see that constantly. That's got to be a no-brainer. So that way, if you want to go up to a higher D, you go. See, it's the same riff. D, E, G, A. D, E, G, A. That's why you have to know your notes so you can float around anytime, anywhere, and you got to know them quick. So take all your songs, guys who don't know you got guys out there, girls out there who can't see their notes. Just slow it down, go in slow motion. Like I said, I've sped up everything a little bit, obviously, or sometimes, to get this info out to you. It's the info that's crucial. You got to put in the time in your practice routine. You gotta study these things until you just know them so well. It's gonna take some time to be able to go, but that's what you want. So if it's taking time, you think, well, you haven't studied enough. You'll know when you get it, when that note letter appears right before you play it, the note, automatically, E. It just appeared to me. I don't know where I'm going. It's just, that's a C sharp or a D flat. It just appears because I know it. I've memorized it. You got to get there. All right, so take your songs. If I were you, take every song you know, slow it down, go over each part, get the notes. Memorize your notes. Very important. I can't stress how important it is to have this totally memorized, the entire bass. It's probably, like I said, if I was to give one bit of advice to anybody, and I have, it's to memorize the notes on your bass. Because while you're doing this, you're going to play, and you're going to get curious, and imagination, and boom, it's just, you're off to the races. Okay? Now, the third way I give you in the book, my book, How to Memorize the Notes, is everyone knows a few scales. So I'll just we'll go to E minor scale right here. You might know this, but again, if you know any scales. Now, I played it in different patterns. This right here, all you need to know. Now, you got to sit there in slow motion. Okay, this is E. F sharp. You should have a diagram. Again, a diagram. Look on your diagram if you're not sure. The E scale, E minor has sharps, so there's no flats. I'm not thinking flats. E, F sharp, G. If you don't know that's a G, when you play the scale and you don't see G, you're really, to me, you're really not playing nothing. You have no idea what's going on. It's a pitch. It sounds good, but how are you going to grow out of that G? Because you might want to play that G here, or here, or here. It's still the minor third. A, B, C, D, E. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, E. So you should slow down your scales, real slow, and just sit there and stare at your bass. People say, well, I want to close my eyes and play. No. When you close your eyes and play, if you don't see the dots and your notes, you're probably just listening to the sound and going off sound, which is okay. But if you don't know what you're doing with the theory and within the song, what to play, you have no idea if it's going to sound good or not. Anyways, so when you close your eyes and play, if you don't know that's an E, and then A, B, by seeing the dot markers in your head and knowing that's an A, B, D, E, G right here, you got to see the notes while you're doing that. So you can do that when you practice. Close your eyes, and if you can't identify that note, you don't know your notes yet. You just don't know them. You got to know these notes like spelling your name. If you can't spell your name, you don't know your name. You got to know these notes. Again, this would be my number one advice. And if I never saw anyone, if I saw someone on the street, memorize your notes, because if you do it, you're going to get good while you're doing it. So when you play scales, or any scale, memorize the notes. You got to do it. All right, number 4 way is a lot of bass players. You need to know your chord arpeggios. Arpeggios is the notes of a chord. I'll go back to A. I've been using A a lot, so I'll go A major. That's an arpeggio. Root, 3rd, 5th. A, C sharp, E. Strum chord looks like that. E, A, same notes on the bass. Now, if you don't know, you got to know again A, C sharp, E. If you don't know it, that's not a D flat. And I'll tell you why that's not a D flat, because the key of A has sharps. So D flat doesn't exist in the key of A. It's a C sharp. In a key, you have to have one letter each. A, the next letter is B. Now after B comes the letter C. In this case, it's a C sharp. D is next, E is next. After E comes the F sharp, G sharp, and now you're back to the beginning. No flats in A. So see that as a C sharp. It has to be a C sharp. D flat, you're wrong. E is the perfect 5th. Now, if you can't see these notes, you don't know your chords, even though you're playing. Nice one. If you don't know that's an A, C sharp, E, you can't grow from that. Where are you going to go with that? Nowhere. See, with this, I can play the open E. And you can replace that open E, this E, with an open E. See, these are all A, C sharps, and E, and play it all over the bass. A, C sharp, E. That's a C sharp, that's an A. That's all A major chord. You can go forever on just the 3 notes of a chord if you know them all over the bass. And you can't know them all over the bass unless you know the note letters. So slow your chord arpeggios down. Know your chord arpeggios. Just this one shape. You can just use one shape for now. Now we'll go to D. If you don't know that's a D, F sharp, A, you don't know the D major chord. Again, that's not a G flat. If you call it a G flat, you are wrong. It goes nowhere. That equate D to G flat doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. I mean, you think it might if you say that, but it doesn't. If you're in the key of D, it's sharps again. There's no flats in D. That's an F sharp. Okay. My last way of doing it, memorize it, when you just noodle around. I call it noodle around or improvise. I call it improvise, or you just kind of like just whatever you're doing, improvising. Take something like a riff, maybe like a little chromatic thing or something you make up. Say you're doing something like that, like a finger little thing. All right, go back, slow motion. That's a D, C sharp, D flat. Remember, we're not really in a key now. If we're not in a key, you want to know both of them. C sharp, D flat. D, C sharp, D flat, C, or B sharp. It exists. B natural, B flat, A flat, A. Each string do it. So when you make up something, go back. You got to go back because you're not done. You got to complete your mission, and that's to memorize the notes. And pretty soon, you'll see this whole thing. Every note will fall like dominoes. Once you get to about the, oh God, I don't know how far, maybe the 10th fret. This will all this part of the neck is just this again, but an octave higher. The dots are very helpful. So again, one piece of advice: it's go time for you guys who don't know your notes. If you're wondering why can't I get any good, or why can't I get better, it's because you don't know your notes probably. I mean, know them where you don't even think about it, and that's just studying, memorizing. Memorizing is very important to be a good musician. Memorizing things. Get very familiar. Stare at your bass. Stare at it. Just stare at it until you get it. Then you can look away because it's memorized in your long-term memory. All right, I can go on and on, but I'm not. Again, EADG4 headquarters, June 10th. Got Dave behind me. And I will see you very shortly. Thanks.